He's autistic is not a valid excuse to let your kid disrupt everyone else. Autism acceptance is important, but there are boundaries. By user Ashamed Stretch 1884. I was in a hot tub recently, just trying to relax, when a woman let her autistic son jump in and treat it like a kiddie pool. Splashing, yelling, jumping around, completely ignoring that a hot tub is meant for calm, not chaos. A few of us politely mentioned that it wasn't appropriate, and her only response was, "He's autistic." Then she pointed to the main pool and told us to go there if we didn't like it. As someone who's also autistic, I find this kind of enabling incredibly frustrating. Autism doesn't mean you get a pass to take over shared spaces or disregard others completely. Inclusion and acceptance don't mean no rules. We should be teaching autistic kids how to navigate the world with support and boundaries, not encouraging the idea that everyone else has to adjust while they do whatever they want. This kind of behavior doesn't promote understanding. It creates resentment and makes things harder for the rest of us who are doing our best to be mindful of others. How dare you give her a kid's portion? Entitled Aunt loses it over a plate of food at my own celebration, by user Steamtronics. So, picture this, we're at the big celebration after the ceremony. It was a classy event, great food, lots of family, music, the works. For dinner, it was agreed that all the kids, including me, would get kids' portions. Totally fair, since there was tons of dessert, snacks, and cakes afterward. No one complained. Except for her. Enter my uncle's wife, a full-blown Karen prototype. And no, I refuse to call her my aunt. I made that decision a long time ago. The waiter comes around and serves my 12-year-old cousin her plate. It's a nicely sized kid's portion like the rest of us had. Suddenly, Karen's eyes go wide like she's just witnessed a war crime. She turns to my mum and loudly exclaims, "Ops mum, how dare you give her a kid's portion? She is an adult. She deserves an adult plate." I swear, my best friend sitting next to me visibly recoiled. Her jaw hit the floor. The room went quiet. You'd think someone had just insulted royalty. My mum tried to calmly explain that all the kids, including me, the person being celebrated, were getting the same size meal, and that dessert would be more than enough. But nope. Karen wasn't having it. She demanded her daughter get the adult meal she deserved. Here's the kicker, my brother couldn't make it to the party, so there was one adult meal left. Instead of giving it to, say, an elderly relative or saving it, my mum, being the saint she is, caved and let the Karen have it just to avoid drama. The rest of us? Outraged. It wasn't about the food. It was the entitlement. In hindsight, we should have shown her the door right then and there. Also, to end off, please note, nobody in the family likes this woman, not even her kid likes her. Thank you for reading, and if you read this entitled aunt, fuck you. Entitled Dad screamed because my brother put that he had brown hair on his driver's license, by user previous P 2005. My brother passed his driving test and applied for a driver's license, and when my dad saw the card on the table he literally screamed at the top of his lungs. He was eating a bowl of porridge but he slammed it on the table and it splashed everywhere and he started wailing and yelling like someone had hurt him. My brother had put that he had brown eyes and brown hair and my dad yelled that Chinese people don't have brown hair. He started screaming and saying my brother was self-hating and denied his heritage and wanted to be white. My brother doesn't have light brown hair but he also doesn't have jet black hair, so he decided to put dark brown. But my dad continued screaming and saying no Chinese person has brown hair. Who are you kidding? Why do you hate your culture? Do you think you're mixed? You have black hair. My brother didn't reply, so my dad kept shouting things like just because you're in America doesn't mean you're American, and why don't you dye your hair blonde if you want and finally be white, is that what you want, and stormed off. It really seemed like he was projecting or something. I haven't seen him take anything this personal since someone said something about his car needing to be fixed. The funny thing was the license was just sitting on the table, like my brother hadn't even taken it out or shown it to him. He just left it there and my dad happened to see it. My dad throws a tantrum when we order food that isn't the specialty of the restaurant, by user panda_452. This is so specific, but my dad literally throws a tantrum in the restaurant and yells if we order a dish that isn't the specialty that they're specifically known for. For example, if we go to a restaurant that's well known for making good chicken, and we aren't in the mood for chicken, and order egg steak or roast pork or pasta or something, he will nag and complain for literally the whole meal as if we're committing a literal crime. He'll shout or whine, you don't go to a chicken restaurant and order pork WTF, even if the pork is good. Like, sure, it may be that their chicken is the best, but that doesn't mean you're forced to order it. Even if we go twice to the same place he will whine and yell and nag if we got something that isn't the specialty. Like we went to a Chinese restaurant that was famous for dumplings and he threw a tantrum because we ordered noodles. We had ordered dumplings the last time we were there. Once my sibling and I went with my parents to a Vietnamese restaurant and ordered Vietnamese coffee with our meal and he complained the entire time, because he said why didn't we go to a coffee shop and buy that instead of getting it from a pho restaurant. I get having our own preferences but him trying to control what other people get, even if he doesn't have to pay for it, seriously ruins the meal for everyone. M breaks my phone for EK because I have some skins in a game that EK doesn't own, by user perfect front 4029. I joined this subreddit today after my first ever encounter with an M and EK. Here's the characters that are very important to the story. EK, entitled kid. M, entitled mother. M, my mother. P, my father. PP, entitled kid's father. Me, fucking Gaku. So, my father is longtime friend of PP. My father doesn't really like EK and M. Neither does my mother, but when we come to visit PP, who is such a nice guy, they deal with it. M is a strong woman, apparently, she goes quite often to the gym. And my father is a really strong guy, he works in the army. Also, EK's family have cameras in all of their houses' rooms after they got robbed 4 years ago. All of those details are important later. I personally saw how EK and M could be annoying sometimes, especially EK, by playing a certain video game with him, that I'll mention later, but they were acting like how normal people would towards me, until today. So, I've been playing this game for a while now, called Dead by Daylight on my console, a Steam Deck. Yesterday, I bought all skins for the character Springtrap and something I didn't mention before, EK is also a Dead by Daylight fan. So like every time before when I came to visit, I brung my Steam Deck to PP's house since I play this game with EK, me on Steam Deck and him on PS5, every time I come, he mildly rages sometimes, quite annoying but I deal with it. This time, my parents and EK's parents went into the house's kitchen to talk about stuff, me and EK decided to go into his room to play that game together. After about an hour and a half into playing this game, he says he wants to show me something, about how he bought one of the skins of that Springtrap character. I said it was pretty cool, and went on to show EK that I bought each one of them. He, at first, seemed angry. And made a snarky comment. I didn't understand why, and I didn't like that at all. Here's the conversation, not exactly but pretty much it, since right after he showed me the skin he bought. Me, yeah, I like the glitch trap skin, it's really cool, but look turns my Steam Deck to show him I bought every single cosmetic of Springtrap. EK, wait. Really? Didn't know you were such a pigeon. Me, what? Where did that come from? EK, you know how much I've been asking my parents to buy me the other ones? Me, no, and frankly, I don't really care. Those are really not important. You should already be happy they bought you one. EK, ugh. But the others look so cool. I really want them. Me, and what am I supposed to do about that? EK, there's something you can do. Then, he went on ranting about how cross-progression works. To put it simply, it's a way to keep the same progression on different platforms. And he rants about all the cool things that would happen if I used it for my console and his PS5. I said a definitive no since, one couldn't play if the other was playing at the same time, and I wanted to progress through the game alone, I did not want EK to skip parts of the progression for me. And EK started throwing a tantrum because he really wanted those skins for that one character. And he ran outside his room, and called M in. He twisted the story completely, and said Mom. He can share with me the stuff I wanted to buy on my PS5 but he doesn't want to just because he's selfish. He then went on explaining cross-progression to his M, avoiding all the stuff I said I didn't want to do that for. And so I sat on his bed, angrily watching him manipulate his mother into saying that I was the selfish one. And suddenly, when EK finished his rant to M, she snatched away my console from me. I didn't struggle since I didn't want to break it. Costs €500. She then asked EK how to do said cross-progression. I was fucking bewildered at her audacity, and EK just took the console and started trying to go to the website of the developers of the game to do CRPR, I'm tired of writing cross-progression. But he didn't know how to navigate on that console because it has a specific way to access websites and he was getting frustrated, and I started screaming out for my parents to come help me. But when M noticed that, she lunged herself towards me and held my mouth with her hand. I sneakily tried taking out my phone to call my parents, but she saw and snatched it out of my hand and threw it out of the doorway, smashing it completely. I wish I could post the picture of the aftermath since I have it, but sadly can't on this subreddit. And thank God PP noticed that and went in with my parents to come see what was happening. My father, without hesitation, straight up pulled M off of me. She fell on the floor and my father grabbed me and shoved me away from M. He asked, not happy at all, what was going on to M. She said some bullshit about how I didn't want to let EK play on my console and I tried to attack EK after he snatched my console and phone away. I said it was false, but EK, who was now crying and put my console on the ground, said it was true before going to his mother and faking being hurt on the head. I said it was bullshit and explained all of the above. My parents believed my story, and PP didn't seem shocked if EK and M would do that, as EK has a lot of history about being jealous of other children and M lying to defend him. EK and M still were trying to make their story more believable until my mother asked about the cameras, that I mentioned all the way on the top of my post, and that's when they both shut up. PP agreed with it. M tried convincing my parents and PP not to watch them because the cameras are turned off, which PP checked, wasn't true. And so, in the video capturing only cameras, everyone clearly saw what M did. I didn't punch EK at all. Now they couldn't verify that my story was true, but they didn't need to since now they knew M and EK lied. PP, angry to both his wife and child, told my dad that he would call him later, and for now, that we should leave and not let me come back near EK or M. So we picked back our stuff, my mother of course saying she would repair my phone at an Apple store, and then we left. After all of that, my mother said to me she will try to press charges against M for assault on a minor and damaging property. Since that happened today, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll try to edit my post if anything new happens. Edit 1. My parents deposited a complaint against M. Some officers asked my side of the events. Don't know what's going to happen next. Probably in the next weeks or months, I'll update y'all again. Edit 2. PP informed me that EK and M saw my post. EK's been trying to contact me through my social media repeatedly and made, I think /for now, 5 alts to keep harassing me to delete this post. Edit 3, corrected spelling mistakes, and I'm skipping a lot of details here with the police and stuff, and now we have a court date. Where I live is a place where justice takes little to no time since there aren't much people living there. So, the trial's occurring very soon.